Millions of California drivers are about to face a massive wake-up call, and most don't even know it's coming. A new series of changes could quietly put your license at risk, even if you've never had a ticket, never been in an accident, and consider yourself a perfectly safe driver. And the scariest part, some of these rules can take effect without you ever stepping foot inside a DMV. Before you assume you're safe, keep watching, because in the next few minutes you're going to discover the 10 surprising changes that could leave you suddenly unable to drive. Number 1. Stricter medical fitness requirements. California's new medical fitness standards are creating one of the most dramatic shifts in licensing rules the state has ever seen, and millions of drivers are suddenly realizing how vulnerable their driving privileges have become. These updated requirements don't just focus on severe medical issues anymore.
They now closely evaluate conditions many people consider minor, such as light vision impairment, controlled diabetes, mild cognitive changes, or even occasional dizziness. Under the new framework, doctors are encouraged, sometimes required, to report conditions that may interfere with safe driving, which can instantly trigger a DMV re-examination notice. For drivers who rely on their car for work, family needs, or daily responsibilities, this new reporting system can feel overwhelming, especially because it moves faster than previous policies and can lead to a suspension long before most people can respond. The reasoning behind these changes is grounded in studies showing that subtle medical issues, when unmanaged, can raise the risk of delayed reaction times, blurred night vision, or momentary lapses in focus. The DMV is using this research to justify a more proactive monitoring system that aims to reduce collisions caused by undiagnosed or untreated conditions. However, what makes this shift especially impactful is how aggressively it identifies early-stage risk indicators. For example, if a driver fails a simple vision screening, struggles with the written renewal test, or reports balance issues to a medical provider, the DMV can require evaluations that most drivers have never faced before. Because of this, many Californians find themselves navigating new paperwork, additional tests, and unpredictable waiting times just to keep the license they've held for decades. Drivers can protect themselves by staying ahead of these evaluations, scheduling regular eye exams, keeping consistent medical documentation, managing prescriptions carefully, and discussing driving concerns openly with healthcare providers can prevent unexpected flags. Awareness is the most powerful tool now, because understanding how quickly these rules operate helps every driver stay prepared, confident, and fully compliant with California's evolving requirements. Number 2. Tighter Real ID deadlines. California's updated Real ID enforcement rules are tightening faster than most drivers realize, and the shift is catching millions of people off guard. While the Real ID has existed for years, the state is now pushing aggressively toward full compliance, meaning the grace periods many drivers relied on are disappearing. Under the new system, anyone who fails to meet the updated documentation standards can face delays, renewal holds, or even a temporary license suspension until their identity verification is complete. What makes this especially challenging is that the DMV is no longer as flexible with missing paperwork, mismatched names, or old documents. Everything must match perfectly, from your social security records to your proof of residency, or the system may automatically flag your file. The shift stems from federal requirements aimed at strengthening security measures for identification used in airports, government buildings, and high-security checkpoints. California has responded by implementing a far more precise identity verification protocol, including stricter scanning tools that detect inconsistencies instantly. Even minor discrepancies like a missing middle initial, an outdated address, or a name that appears differently on two documents can cause your application to pause. Drivers who previously renewed online may now be required to appear in person with physical documents, and the DMV's automated verification system can deny applications before a human ever reviews them. These new procedures have already created longer wait times and increased confusion for anyone who hasn't updated their documents in years. To avoid being caught in this tightening net, drivers should gather their required documents early and verify that all personal information is consistent across every record. Keeping updated tax documents, bank statements, and official mail can help resolve residency questions quickly. It's also wise to check your social security record for outdated names or misspellings, which can stop a Real ID application instantly. Uploading documents ahead of time's digital portal can speed up processing, but applicants must double-check that the scanned versions are clear, legible, and fully up-to-date. With stricter deadlines and increasingly unforgiving requirements, being proactive is the best way to avoid unexpected license delays, stressful appointments, or last-minute travel complications caused by missing Real ID compliance. Number 3. Digital driver monitoring systems. California's move toward digital driver monitoring systems marks one of the most transformative changes in how the state evaluates driving behavior, and it's already causing concern among everyday motorists. Instead of relying solely on police reports or physical citations, the DMV is beginning to use data from telemetry sources, vehicle sensors, and insurance-based driving trackers to flag risky behavior. This means that habits many drivers overlook, like rapid acceleration, harsh braking, or speeding only slightly over the limit, can now be recorded automatically. What makes this shift so powerful is that the monitoring doesn't require you to be pulled over. Data can be sent directly through connected cars or approved third-party systems, creating a real-time profile of your driving habits. The state argues that these digital insights provide a more accurate picture of driving behavior than occasional citations. Studies have shown that telemetry can identify patterns that would never appear on a traditional driving record, such as frequent nighttime driving, distracted steering fluctuations, or sudden lane corrections. California sees this as an opportunity to reduce accidents by identifying high-risk drivers earlier. However, this also means that your license could face points or review requirements even if you've never interacted with law enforcement. The systems are designed to highlight consistency, not one-time mistakes. So repeated small errors matter far more than they used to. And because many new vehicles come equipped with built-in tracking capabilities, drivers may be monitored without actively opting in. To stay protected in this new digital environment, drivers should become more mindful of the subtle habits they've developed over time. Smooth acceleration, proper following distance, and maintaining steady speed can dramatically improve your risk profile. Those using insurance programs that track driving behavior should review their app data regularly to ensure there are no unexplained spikes in risk scores. When purchasing a new car, it's important to understand how its connected features operate and whether you can adjust data sharing settings. Keeping your tires properly inflated, avoiding distractions, and planning routes ahead of time not only improves safety, but also help maintain a clean digital footprint. As California continues integrating these systems, adapting your daily driving habits becomes essential for keeping your license secure. Number 4, lower tolerance for distracted driving. California's updated distracted driving standards are becoming far stricter than most drivers expected, and they target far more than just holding a smartphone. The new rules expand the definition of distraction to include touchscreen interactions, smartwatch movements, dashboard menu scrolling, and even certain voice command delays that pull attention away from the road. This means a driver can be penalized for briefly adjusting climate controls, tapping a notification on a wearable device, or interacting with an advanced infotainment system. What worries many motorists is not just the expanded list, but the fact that these violations can trigger automatic points and possible license review after repeated offenses. Even actions that once earned only warnings are now logged more aggressively. The shift comes from research showing that in-vehicle technologies, while helpful, often cause more cognitive load than drivers notice. Studies demonstrate that brain distraction can last several seconds after interacting with the digital display, creating silent but significant risk. With more cars relying on large touch dashboards and integrated apps, California sees a rising need to manage how drivers use these tools. As a result, officers are trained to identify subtler distractions such as delayed braking, slow acceleration at green lights, or inconsistent lane positioning. Some vehicles equipped with driver attention cameras may also record eye movement patterns that indicate distraction, and these systems can be used to inform driving behavior assessments over time. Because of these layered monitoring approaches, even cautious drivers may face unexpected violations. Drivers can avoid complications by simplifying their in-car routines before trips begin, setting navigation routes in advance, enabling automatic do not disturb, and limiting dashboard interactions can significantly lower distraction risk. Using physical buttons instead of touchscreens when available helps reduce the need to look away from the road. Smartwatch notifications should be muted while driving, since even a quick wrist glance can be flagged. Voice assistance can be helpful, but drivers should practice commands beforehand so the system responds accurately without repeated prompts. Keeping devices out of direct reach, organizing playlists ahead of time, and relying on steering wheel controls can make everyday driving smoother and safer. In a state now enforcing much stricter standards, mindful preparation is the key to preventing avoidable penalties and license risks. Number 5, enhanced point system. California's newly updated enhanced point system is reshaping how fast drivers can reach suspension levels. And the biggest chalk is how quickly minor violations add up under these expanded rules. Instead of focusing mainly on major offenses, the DMV now tracks a wider range of driving errors, and each one carries more weight than before. Even small infractions such as rolling stops, light speeding, or failing to signal can add extra risk points that accumulate automatically. The new system also reviews patterns over shorter periods, meaning repeated behavior within months, not years, can trigger warnings or mandatory driver improvement programs. For many motorists, the surprising part is that these points can be added even when a violation doesn't result in a citation, especially if the behavior is captured by digital monitoring tools. The reasoning behind this shift is rooted in statewide accident data, showing that frequent minor errors are often early indicators of unsafe driving habits. Transportation studies suggest that patterns like late braking or inconsistent lane discipline statistically correlate with higher collision risk. California is using this evidence to justify a more aggressive tracking approach that focuses on behavior trends rather than isolated mistakes. Because the updated system is automated, it can flag conduct without requiring face-to-face police interaction. And this automation means thousands of drivers may not realize how close they are to suspension thresholds. Repeat behaviors that once went unnoticed can now trigger probation periods, higher insurance rates, or mandatory retesting through the DMV's re-examination process. Drivers can stay ahead of these changes by becoming proactive about monitoring their own driving record. Regularly checking your DMV point status, reviewing insurance telematics scores, and addressing recurring habits can dramatically reduce risk. Using cruise control on long stretches, practicing smoother braking, and giving yourself more time to react at intersections can help prevent unintentional violations. It also helps to revisit defensive driving basics such as keeping safe following distance and minimizing lane changes in heavy traffic. Simple awareness goes a long way under the new rules because California's system rewards consistency. By cultivating steady, predictable habits, drivers can protect their record, avoid accumulating hidden points, and keep their license secure despite the tighter enforcement structure. Number 6. Insurance verification crackdowns. California's new insurance verification crackdown is becoming one of the most disruptive changes for drivers because it targets something many people assume is automatically handled: proof of insurance. In the past, a brief lapse like forgetting to pay a renewal bill or switching insurance companies might go unnoticed for weeks. Now the DMV uses an upgraded automated verification system that checks coverage continuously, not just during registration. If the system detects even a short interruption, it can instantly send a suspension notice, often before drivers realize anything is wrong. This automated process is strict, fast, and unforgiving, leaving many people stunned when they discover their license or registration has been flagged over a simple oversight. The state's reasoning focuses on reducing uninsured driving, which contributes significantly to accident costs and legal disputes. The new verification tools connect directly with insurance databases, cross-checking policy numbers, coverage dates, and cancellation notices in real time. Even small clerical errors like a mismatched VIN or a late electronic update can be interpreted as a lapse. Because the process is digital, the DMV no longer depends on mailed notices from insurance providers. Instead, it relies on automated data transfers that run constantly. This means a driver who changes carriers, upgrades a policy, or enters incorrect information online may inadvertently trigger a compliance alert. Many Californians are discovering that minor paperwork delays can now escalate far more quickly than expected, especially when insurers submit policy updates at different times. To stay protected, drivers should monitor their insurance status actively rather than assuming everything is correct. Verifying that policy details match DMV records, paying renewals on schedule, and saving confirmation emails can prevent unnecessary issues. When switching companies, it's important to overlap coverage dates or confirm the new policy is reported instantly. Checking the DMV's online portal every few months can also help catch discrepancies. Drivers using online insurance apps should review expiration dates and ensure digital ID cards reflect updated coverage. Keeping printed proof of insurance is still useful, but under the new system, digital verification matters far more. Staying organized and vigilant ensures drivers avoid unexpected suspensions caused by small technical errors in the state's increasingly strict insurance monitoring system. Number 7. Updated vision test standards. California's newly updated vision test standards are reshaping how drivers qualify for license renewals, especially as the DMV places greater emphasis on early detection of visual decline. Unlike older screenings that focus mainly on basic eye chart performance, the new assessments evaluate contrast sensitivity, peripheral awareness, and low light clarity, areas that many people don't realize have weakened until they're tested. These expanded requirements mean that even drivers who believe they see well enough may find themselves unexpectedly failing the screening. The DMV is placing major importance on night driving capacity, glare recovery, and the ability to detect motion in side fields, all critical factors linked to accident prevention. This shift is catching people off guard, particularly those renewing licenses after several years without previous issues. The state's decision is supported by research showing that subtle changes in eye function can significantly affect reaction times, especially in heavy traffic or dim conditions. Studies reveal that reduced contrast sensitivity alone increases collision risk, even when traditional visual acuity appears normal. California is using this scientific data to justify more precise testing devices and stricter pass thresholds. Because of this, drivers may be required to provide updated optometrist documentation, complete follow-up evaluations, or demonstrate improved visual correction during retesting. If the DMV identifies potential impairment, it can place restrictions on driving hours or require more frequent renewal cycles. These new steps can feel overwhelming, especially for seniors, but the focus is on preventing accidents before they occur. As the system becomes more sensitive to early-stage issues, many Californians are discovering that their vision no longer meets updated safety expectations. Drivers can prepare by scheduling regular comprehensive eye exams, not just basic screenings. Updating prescription lenses, treating dryness, and managing conditions like cataracts or glaucoma early can make the difference between passing and failing. Using anti-reflective coatings, cleaning lenses frequently, and adjusting car mirrors to reduce glare can further enhance safety. Practicing night driving only when necessary and avoiding tinted lenses after sunset can also improve performance during DME testing. Drivers should arrive well rested, hydrated, and with their most current corrective lenses. Preparation might seem simple, but under these stricter standards, staying ahead of vision changes is essential for preserving driving privileges and maintaining long-term independence. Number 8. Expanded emissions and registration enforcement. California's expanded emissions and registration enforcement is now creating unexpected consequences for drivers who previously considered vehicle compliance a minor task. The state has integrated automated systems that cross-check emissions certification, registration status, and insurance verification in real time. Even small delays, such as forgetting to renew registration by a few days or missing a smog check, can trigger automatic notifications from the DMV. These notifications often lead to temporary suspension of driving privileges until the issue is resolved, meaning a minor oversight could escalate into a serious legal problem. Many drivers who assumed short lapses were harmless are now discovering that the system is far more unforgiving than before. The updated enforcement policy is supported by studies linking unregistered or high-emission vehicles to safety risks and environmental harm. By combining emissions checks with digital DMV records, California aims to reduce both roadway hazards and pollution levels simultaneously. Vehicles that fail inspections or whose records are incomplete are flagged automatically, often before the owner is aware. This proactive approach allows authorities to catch non-compliance early, but also places responsibility squarely on the driver. Ignorance is no longer a defense. The DMV assumes that drivers are aware of all registration and emissions requirements, which now include proof of recent inspections, proper license plate display, and updated insurance documentation. The state's reliance on automated detection creates a high-speed feedback loop where lapses can trigger immediate consequences. Drivers can prevent penalties by scheduling smog tests well in advance of renewal deadlines, keeping receipts, and confirming that all documents are accurately logged in DMV databases. Staying aware of expiration dates for registration, emission certificates, and insurance ensures compliance. Additionally, maintaining vehicles in optimal condition, proper engine maintenance, tire care, and emission system checks reduces the risk of unexpected test failures. For those using digital DMV portals, regularly updating personal information, verifying uploaded documents, and reviewing pending notices can prevent automatic suspensions. With California's system now highly integrated and automated, proactive monitoring and vehicle care are essential to avoid costly interruptions in driving privileges. Number 9. New rules for senior license renewals. California's new rules for senior license renewals are changing the way older drivers maintain their ability to drive safely, and the shift is affecting more people than many realize. The DMV now requires seniors to undergo more frequent vision, cognitive, and physical assessments during the renewal process, even if they have a spotless driving record. This means drivers over a certain age may be asked to submit medical forms, pass enhanced vision screenings, or complete road tests that previously weren't mandatory. For many seniors, these changes feel intrusive, but the state argues that they are necessary to prevent accidents caused by age-related decline in reflexes, decision-making, or sensory perception. The reasoning behind these updates is supported by extensive research showing that while experience often compensates for minor declines, cognitive slowing, reaction delays, and visual impairments can significantly increase accident risk. Studies indicate that seniors are more likely to be involved in intersection incidents or fail to react quickly to sudden hazards. By implementing more frequent checks, California aims to balance independence with public safety. However, these rules also place the burden on drivers to proactively manage health conditions, maintain up-to-date medical documentation, and demonstrate fitness to drive, or they risk facing restrictions, license modifications, or temporary suspensions. Seniors can protect their driving privileges by preparing in advance for these enhanced requirements. Regular visits to optometrists, primary care physicians, and specialists can ensure that conditions like glaucoma, diabetes, or balance issues are managed and documented. Maintaining a consistent medication schedule, practicing driving in familiar areas, and staying physically active to support mobility and reflexes are also beneficial. Additionally, reviewing DMV renewal notices carefully and completing all requested forms promptly reduces the chance of delays or automatic restrictions. By approaching senior renewals proactively, drivers can maintain independence, comply with stricter standards, and ensure they continue driving safely without unexpected interruptions to their license. Number 10. Stricter DUI and substance policies. California's stricter DUI and substance policies are transforming the rules for drivers who consume alcohol, marijuana, or prescription medications, and many people are unaware of just how broad these changes are. The state has expanded the definition of impairment to include prescription drugs, over-the-counter medications, and THC levels from marijuana, even when used legally. Law enforcement now employs more advanced roadside testing and digital tools to measure impairment, and repeat offenders face harsher penalties. Even drivers who have previously driven without incident can be flagged if subtle impairment indicators are detected. These policies make it clear that California is cracking down aggressively on anything that reduces reaction time, alertness, or coordination while driving. Research supports these stricter regulations, showing that impaired drivers are significantly more likely to cause collisions, with even low doses of substances affecting reaction speed and decision-making. Studies highlight that marijuana and certain medications can slow cognitive responses, create tunnel vision, or impair judgment. California is now leveraging technology such as breathalyzers, field sobriety apps, and oral fluid testing to ensure consistent enforcement. Violations can lead to license suspension, fines, mandatory substance education programs, and increased insurance rates. Importantly, even legally prescribed medications are not exempt, so drivers must understand dosage and timing to avoid unintended consequences. The integration of advanced testing tools and stricter penalties has made compliance essential for maintaining driving privileges. Drivers can protect themselves by carefully reviewing prescription instructions, understanding the effects of any substances on alertness, and avoiding driving when in doubt about impairment. Planning transportation alternatives after consuming alcohol, using rideshare options, and keeping medication records up to date with your physician can prevent inadvertent violations. Staying informed about the latest DUI thresholds and roadside testing procedures is critical, as enforcement now occurs more frequently and with greater technological precision. By practicing caution, monitoring consumption, and adhering to state guidance, drivers can maintain safety for themselves and others while avoiding the harsh consequences of California's expanded DUI and substance policies. California's sweeping changes to driving regulations are a wake-up call for every motorist. Whether you've been on the road for decades or just received your first license, from stricter medical requirements and updated vision tests to digital driver monitoring and expanded DUI policies, the state is implementing measures that touch nearly every aspect of driving. Even small oversights like delayed registration, minor speeding, or brief lapses in attention can now accumulate points, trigger automated penalties, or result in temporary license suspension. These policies are grounded in research, aiming to reduce accidents, enhance public safety, and ensure drivers remain fit and alert behind the wheel. While the changes may feel intimidating, the key takeaway is that awareness and proactive action can prevent most issues. Regular checkups, up-to-date documentation, careful driving habits, and understanding the rules are the best tools to protect your license. By staying informed and taking small steps, drivers can navigate these new regulations confidently and maintain their freedom on the road. Ultimately, California's evolving system emphasizes responsibility, preparation, and vigilance. Drivers who adapt quickly will not only avoid penalties but also contribute to safer roads for everyone. The combination of technological monitoring, stricter enforcement, and updated standards creates a landscape where being an attentive, informed, and compliant driver has never been more important. Understanding these changes, planning ahead, and adjusting daily habits is the difference between maintaining your license and facing unexpected consequences.